as she began to chase Mitchell. Around and around the patio they went, sneakers pounding up on the bench and down on the concrete again, Mitchell ducking and sidestepping Amy, and always managing to stay just out of her grasp. "You're despicable!" cried Amy, who already read on the 5th grade level or even higher, although she was about to enter the 4th grade. Mitchell felt his sister's fingers on his shirt and jerked away. Around and around they went, and as they grew short of breath, they both began to laugh. Mrs. Huff opened the back door and stepped into the patio with a jar of peanut butter and a knife in her hand. "You two," she said. "Stop it." The chase slowed and came to a halt. "He blew the fluff off my dandelion when I was about to make a wish," said Amy, giggling and gasping and appealing for justice. "I couldn't help it," panted Mitchell. "She was just standing there, all puckered up with her eyes closed, and suddenly something came over me." "Something comes over you altogether too often." Mrs. Huff spread a gob of peanut butter on a pine cone tied to the branch of a crabapple tree outside the dining room window. "I saw the first chickadees of the season this morning, and I thought if I started putting peanut butter out again, we might persuade them to stay with us for the winter. Amy, pick another dandelion, and I'll stand guard while you make your wish." "It won't be the same," said Amy, but she found a second dandelion. "Mitch, if you blow the fluff off Amy's dandelion this time, I'll spread you with peanut butter and leave you for the chickadees," said Mrs. Huff, as she smeared peanut butter between the scales of the pine cone. Since Amy had made a bird feeder out of the pine cone for a brownie project in the 3rd grade, Mrs. Huff had become interested in bird watching. Mom's feathered friends, her children called the juncos, sparrows, and chickadees that grew fat on her peanut butter. "I'll try to control myself," said Mitchell when his mother had finished with the pine cone. "It will be a struggle, but I'll try." He noticed that this time Amy did not shut her eyes. She remained vigilant until with one breath she had sent all the dandelion seeds flying out across the patio. "What did you wish?" he asked. "As if I would tell you," said Amy. Mrs. Huff screwed the lid back onto the peanut butter jar. "I know what I wish. I wish you two would stop bickering. I'll be glad when school starts." "Mom, you said a bad word," said Mitchell. "It begins with S." He was about to try standing on his skateboard when Marla Brodsky came through the patio gate. "Hi, Amy. Hello, Mrs. Huff." Marla stopped when she saw what Mitchell had been working on. "How come you built a skateboard when you already have a skateboard?" she asked. "I just wanted to, is all," answered Mitchell. "I know," said Marla. "I like to make things, too." Mitchell already knew she did. Marla and Amy were always making things when they were not pretending something. He stepped carefully onto his skateboard and hoped it would bear his weight. Bending nails around the skate halves had not been easy. Nothing cracked and nothing fell off. He bounced to test the strength of his skateboard, and still it held. It was sturdy enough to hold a 67-pound boy. "It looks like a fine job to me," said Mrs. Huff. Mitchell felt this comment was generous of his mother, who thought all skateboards were dangerous. "Do you suppose it will really work?" Amy asked. Mitchell stepped off his board and picked it up. "I think I'll go road test it. So long, Mom." "You mean sidewalk test it," answered his mother. "You stay out of the street with that thing." "Sure, Mom." Mitchell knew his mother was nervous because all the streets in their neighborhood were hilly and winding, and only a few had sidewalks. "And please don't break your neck," said Mrs. Huff. "And don't run down any little old ladies." "You can count on me, Mom." Mitchell carried his homemade skateboard through the patio gate, down the steep driveway, to a gently sloping street with a sidewalk. Mitchell felt good. It was a bright, clear day. Down below he could see the red tile roofs of the university, and across the bay he could see San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge. He had built himself a skateboard that was probably going to